It's the end of 2020, and here we are looking at how did you do? What a crazy year in the market. Did your investments perform well? I've created a checklist to help you determine if your investments are doing what you want them to do. Let me just walk you through some of the considerations that I think you should be looking out for. First and foremost, do your investments reflect your goals, your time horizons, and your risk qualification? Nobody knows what those things mean. Maybe you know what your goals are. I hope you do. You've written them down and you know where you're going. If not, life's just going to happen. And whether your investments are doing well or not really won't matter that much. It's just a bragging scorecard. Your time horizon. How much time do you have to accomplish those goals? That would be awesome to know. The more complicated is, what about your risk tolerance? How do you know what your risk tolerance is? Click on the link below and I have a resource guide to help you determine what your risk tolerance is. And I can also help you determine if your assets match your risk tolerance. If you're taking distributions, are you taking them most effectively? Your distributions impact whether you're taxed or not taxed, how much you're taking out and where they're coming from. One of the things we do with our clients is work through an inventory of different investable assets so they can take their investments at the optimal time from the optimal type of account. Do you have that strategy going on in your life? Do you have an assets outside of your portfolio, or a pension, or a social security? All those impact each other. If you're taking social security right now, that impacts your taxes. If you're taking a pension right now, that impacts your social security. All these things work together to determine whether your income is taxable, tax-free, or tax-deferred. And that's the whole efficiency of investing. Do you aggregate your asset allocation? And does that aggregation need to be reviewed? What does that mean? It means, are your assets complementary to each other, those investments, or are the investments competing with each other? One goes up, one goes down at the exact same time. That teeter-totter means you have a net gain of zero. So let's look at that. Are your assets complementary or competing? Do the investment selection criteria need to be reviewed and updated? I'm reading it right off this checklist, and that's something you should be asking yourself every single year. Do your assets need to be updated? There's inefficiencies and there's voids in the market. The efficient market hypothesis suggests that every investor is rational and every market is efficient. From 2020, we know that's not true. That is not even remotely true. What a great time to look at your assets and determine what's the best allocation, and do they need to be reviewed and updated based on the inefficiencies that are occurring in this market right now. And finally, have you rebalanced your assets at all or this year? Rebalancing is something that typically occurs either at the end of the year or beginning of the year. You set an asset allocation saying that you want so much in international, so much in small cap, so much in large cap, so much in fixed income. And during the course of the year, those balances fall out of whack. We might have more growth in large cap and less growth in fixed income, as is the case right now. So rebalancing that means that your asset allocation matches your goals, matches your investment criteria, matches your horizon, and matches your risk tolerance. All this comes together, and the goal here is to make sure you have the most efficient and effective investment accounts possible. Would you like to know more? Would you like to review my checklist? I've made it free. Click on the link or the button below, and we'll tell you what you should be looking at in terms of how did your investments perform this year and what should you be doing going forward. Thanks so much.